when I first started, I thought that I wasn't scaling because I wasn't good enough, but this is the wrong mindset. I also was looking at so many YouTube videos. I was watching all of these gurus online. I was downloading all the freebies. I was trying to do everything that all these gurus were saying, but what it ended up giving me was like 6 different strategies from 6 different online gurus. Everyone is using the same messaging, the same wording, the same scripts, and you can so easily tell who is and who isn't by their content. And what I found is that people more than ever crave authenticity. They crave you, your energy. They don't want some perfection, they don't want a perfected version of you. They want the real, raw version of you. Most coaches that I meet with spend 15 to 20 hours a week just creating content. They're sending cold TMs. They're trying to stay top of mind, and they only ever work in their business instead of on it. And all of this hard work only gets them a few decent leads and maybe 1 or 2 calls booked. But one of our clients, I was just on a group coaching call the other day, and as we were looking at her ads and we were just looking at the performance, I was asking her, honestly, how much have you spent since we started this whole process? And she's one of our GC Elite clients, so I get to have one-on-one calls with her, and really, we're helping her to step more into the CEO part of her business and hiring team members, learning how to scale the business, learning how to scale a group coaching program, using other funnels, right? And so as I was looking through her ad account, I was like, how much have you spent? And found out she had spent maximum $10K on ads. And then we went to her Stripe and she collected over $50K of cash during that time period. That's a 5x return on ad spend. If I gave you $1, I said you're gonna get $5 back, would you take me up on that? Of course you would, right? So I think this is so powerful. I want to share some of those key lessons and steps that she made and we helped her to implement in order to make this kind of progress in her business in literally 4 months. It is the exact same system that I use that has allowed me to scale my coaching business at 23. I now have over 30 active clients. We have a school community of over 500 members. I went from 1K in followers to over 6K in followers in under a year. Scaled my program from 5 students to having well over 60 members, and yeah, it's just an incredible journey. And now I get to wake up to clients already paying me money, having some passive income set up, and being able to spend $50 a day in a Bali cafe. And you can steal all of this information for yourself too. Now, when I first started, I thought that I wasn't scaling because I wasn't good enough, but this is the wrong mindset. I also was looking at so many YouTube videos. I was watching all of these gurus online. I was downloading all the freebies. I was trying to do everything that all these gurus were saying, but what it ended up giving me was 6 different strategies from 6 different online gurus. And what I realized, if you've read the book 10x is easier than 2x, your focus is so important. If you want to go 10x, it's actually much easier to do a 10x jump if you just focus on one thing. And so what I did was I stopped duct taping my business together, and I decided to invest into a coach that taught me the systems and strategies that I needed to be able to get to where I'm at today. And the breakthrough finally came when I had a smooth, scalable system that allowed me to get repeatable results. And that's exactly what I want to cover in this video in the next 10 minutes. And by the way, this client, she's a mom of 3, and she was working a 9-to-5 job for the first 3 months of this process. She just quit her job. Congratulations. So amazing to see people quit their job from this system. But yeah, if she can do it, so can you. This is the 5x return on ad spend system. So number 1 is messaging. Messaging that doesn't blend in with everyone else. Messaging that separates you and helps you to become one of one. That becomes so important, and not utilizing ChatGPT as your main form of communication and your main way of creating messaging will really help you to stand out. And I think that there is just such a a new problem that is surfacing in the market today, where everyone is using the same messaging, the same wording, the same scripts, and you can so easily tell who is and who isn't by their content. And what I found is that people more than ever crave authenticity. They crave you, your energy. They don't want some perfection, they don't want a perfected version of you. They want the real raw version of you. And so I think the best way to communicate is now more than ever stories. Stories is what's going to create that magnetization to you, because no one else has the same story as you, but a story is also credible because it is your own unique experience. And so what we did was she started to tell stories from her own POV in her messaging and in her content. And then after that is we ran a simple ad. She has 2 ads, I think like 3 ads running now actually. One is a follower-based ad, so we're just asking people to come to her profile. We're speaking directly to her ideal client in that ad, making sure that we pre-qualify in the first 3 seconds of the hook. And then we also have another ad running that's just a static post, and it's calling out who the individual is that she wants to work with. She helps married women to not get divorced, pretty much, who are on the edge of divorce. So she's saving married lives out here, which is incredible. So yeah, we have those ads running right now, and she's getting tons of lead flow, and she has content that nurtures and pre-sells, magnetizes leads to her. Once we have that in place, then the next step is knowing how to put in a team member to take over the DM setting, right? So that's something that we've recently been doing, but it's really allowed her to step out of being in the DMs 24/7. I'll put some results on the screen from her right here, talking about how much this has impacted her, because this part is so important.
So
That makes sense.
So guess what, Josh?
What's up?
You were right with the guy thing. It was really smart to go that way.
Nice. So it's paying off.
It's blowing up. Yeah.
I bet it is. This is amazing. Let's go.
So I'm excited, but now I'm getting too many people. Now I'm like at 15 and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting a little bit like I need to do group somehow.
Yes, which we should talk about today.
Let's do it, Sarah. Group is the way.
Let's do it. Amazing. Emily, look at that's amazing. I just got on this call and immediately I'm super excited. This is
Super excited.
phenomenal. That means Emily will have to build the next level as well for people like Sarah, that a good problem is blowing up too fast. We need to build that level too.
We do.
Yeah.
Instead of having, so many funnels, so many automations, all of these things set up, it's like, just keep it simple, get an appointment setter in there. And then we also helped her to set up, email marketing and automating the first part of the funnel with the messaging. So the appointment setter can just focus on booking calls right away. And yeah, that appointment setter has a KPI of around like 3 calls a day. So she's getting volume, we're getting calls booked. We're actually helping train her setters, which has allowed her to go from scattered to now fully locked in with a proven scalable system. One massive mistake that we noticed along the way that I don't want you to have happen to you, and I don't think anyone else is really talking about this, is the unqualified leads part. You see, when you get unqualified leads in through the top of your funnel, you're gonna get poor quality clients, and then what happens is you're going to get poor quality results, and so then it's just a terrible repeatable cycle that will basically put you out of business. So really we want to solve this problem as soon as possible, and that's why whenever I am working with clients on their ads, I always stress the importance of pre-qualifying in the first few seconds, right? So that can happen within the messaging, talking to the corporate girly, the one who's a 6-figure earner, the ambitious hustler, the ones who have money to pay for your services, right? That's what I'm saying and conveying here. When I first started running ads, I was getting a ton of unqualified leads, and then I remember so distinctly like being on a phone call with a girl who had like $50 to her name, and I just realized like, this is terrible. I can't be talking to these people, can't be spending my precious time, and I don't want you to either with these people. We aren't a free ministry. If you want to work with someone, they have to pay, because they're going to get results if they actually pay. So we've now pre-qualified in the first few sentences of her messaging in her ads. We're speaking to higher quality prospects in the content. And then also, I want you to have an application. And in this application form, it's going to ask qualification questions to really see if they would have the resources to be able to invest into your work. And then the next step of that is once you have leads coming in, they're pre-vetted, they're pre-nurtured, they're hopping on sales calls, then we want to make sure we can close them, right? And so this was another bottleneck that we saw. Sarah had actually hired one of the most popular sales coaches on Instagram right now, but she didn't get results until she implemented what we shared in the GC system, because a lot of these coaches online are teaching very masculine-based sales techniques, which do not work. I will repeat this, they do not work for a lot of coaches who are females, who are speaking with an emotional sales call. This is not, just getting people over the line using manipulative tactics. We want to create an emotion which will come easier and more naturally if you can convey that how you would say it in your more feminine style, right? And so as soon as she started implementing what we were teaching her when it comes to sales, that's when she really saw a huge spike in cash collected. So this piece is really, really important. And I think, a lot of misconceptions I see is that the people who have the best marketing in the space for sales sometimes are not the best coaches for you just because they're driving amazing cars or they're able to travel amazing places. You really want to find a coach who has a technique that would work best for you, right? And this is the backbone to every six-figure business. And if you're curious about how we teach sales, we actually have some coaching call recordings that you can find inside of our school community. Just message me the word coaching call recording on Instagram and I will share an unlisted video that you can watch sharing a little bit more about our technique. And now the next step is stewarding and scaling this business, because you were called to impact more people, but you were not called to burn out. And so we have to implement systems that will allow her to scale. So that means systems that will remove her from the business, implementing a DM setter, implementing AI and automation, creating more repeatable business models such as a course, a community. All of these will allow her to create a long-term business and work on the business instead of in it. So that's what we coach her through. And I really want to make sure that this point is laid down, is that what made this strategy work wasn't just her work ethic. Although she had an amazing work ethic, it was also an identity shift. She had to see herself worthy of charging more. And she went from charging I think $2K to now charging $5K for her coaching. And the moment that she started leading like a CEO, where she was tracking her numbers, trusting the system, showing up in authority, that is when her entire business really started to take off. Instead of hustling for every client, we're now allowing people to come to us. Instead of always working in the business, tiring yourself out, working from 9 to 9, we're now focused on high leverage tasks that grow the business and operating like a real business owner. That is when you stop relying on your own hustle and coffee to make progress, and instead you show up from a place of overflow. So if you are done being the whole machine in your business and you want to show up from a place of overflow instead of overworking every hour of the day, then DM me 100K on Instagram. We can talk more about what it would look like to team up and dominate the industry that you're in. I look forward to chatting with you, because at the end of the day, love, it's not about doing more, spending more hours. It's about showing up differently and doing high leverage tasks that build and grow the business. Your identity shift is on the other side of you believing in yourself, knowing that you're capable of more, and that as you scale, you'll be able to impact more lives. And if you truly care about people, then you have a responsibility to use the gifts that God has given you and entrusted you with and multiply them. So I love you so much, and I'll leave you with this verse. Matthew 25:29, for to everyone who has will more be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. This passage shows that when we faithfully steward and multiply the gifts, talents, and resources God entrusts to us, he blesses us with even more. I hope this video blessed you. I love you. I'm rooting for you.